Number 10. Kirsten Dunst and Garrett Hedlund. This is a great way to start off the list because even though this public fight was embarrassing, it seemed like the couple were able to shrug it off relatively quickly. We're going to talk about the epic couple fight that happened way back in 2012 between actress Kirsten Dunst and her on-the-road co-star Garrett Hedlund, who just recently started dating at the time. Although the actors had plenty in common and things started going well initially, cameras caught the couple having a major argument on their way to a movie theater, which was so intense it looked like it was about more than which movie they were seeing. It looked like something had sparked a pretty big fight as the pair continued to hurl insults at each other on the way. Whatever happened in the car that day, it was probably just a petty argument because they ended up dating for another 4 years. And in 2015, Kirsten said, quote, "We're the same age, we have similar backgrounds, he feels like family to me." But sadly, like most other good things, the relationship came to an end in April of 2016. Number 9. John Mayer and Jessica Simpson. If there's one thing that Hollywood knows by now, it's that John Mayer is a bit of a playboy. His reputation as a womanizer definitely precedes him, so that's why everyone at one point was really surprised to see him with Jessica Simpson. He raised eyebrows when he used the phrase sexual napalm to describe his romance with Simpson and even compared her to a certain illicit substance that he said he couldn't get enough of. The couple dated for a year, but they broke up several times throughout their relationship. In fact, sources close to the couple told people that things were always on and off between the pair and they had arguments constantly. Unfortunately, 2006 marked the year that they decided to finally split for good. The couple was on vacation in Mexico when there were photos snapped of them arguing on the balcony of their room. Jessica looked like she was in tears and it was undoubtedly a breakup. The news of their split came shortly after the photos were released, meaning there's a good chance that the paparazzi actually captured the moment when Jessica and John called things off for good. Number 8. Adrienne Maloof and Sean Stewart. Apart from their almost 20-year age difference, it seemed like there were a myriad of other issues that plagued the brief relationship between Rod Stewart's son, Sean Stewart, and former Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast member Adrienne Maloof. The couple split up after having a blowout fight on the red carpet. According to eyewitnesses, the duo arrived separately and Adrienne walked the red carpet with an even younger man, 24-year-old Jacob Bush. TMZ spotted the pair fighting next to the red carpet at the charity event, which definitely marked the end of their on-again, off-again relationship. The argument between them got heated and Sean could be seen storming off, telling his ex, "I'm done," when her date tried to approach him. Stewart later claimed to Brandy Glanville on her podcast, quote, "I do want to clear up one rumor, she never broke my heart." But when it came time to explain the bizarre public fight, the reality TV star only told Star Magazine, quote, "I have a lot of changes going on in my life. I went through a period of darkness and I am much happier now than ever. Things are good." Number 7. Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk. Bradley Cooper and Irina Shayk were one of the power couples in Hollywood. The two dated for nearly 4 years before calling it quits in 2019. However, the two have created many memories which fans fondly remember, even one of them at the famed tennis tournament. Paparazzi caught what looked like a super awkward argument between actor Bradley Cooper and his model girlfriend at the 2016 Wimbledon's men final. In the video footage from that day, Bradley was caught whispering into Irina's ear while she appears to cry and turn her head away from the actor. She appeared to be dabbing tears out of her eyes and then crossed her arms and refused to look at him. In the video, he then went back to watching the tennis and she just sat in silence beside him. While it's not clear why the two were really fighting or what they could have been possibly fighting about, but that didn't stop people online from speculating wildly the way the internet loves to do. Some even suggested that Bradley and Irina were fighting over his ex-girlfriend Suki Waterhouse. Although it feels like you can almost cut the tension with a knife, TMZ later reported that sources close to the couple claimed Irina was simply battling pollen allergies. Well, it really could have been anything. Number 6. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck. The stars were photographed having a very emotional moment inside a car prior to their divorce. Back in 2016, the pair were arguing in their SUV after dropping their 3 children at school when things started to get really heated. Just looking at the picture that has been circulated online, you can tell that Jennifer was getting very frustrated with whatever Ben was saying, and she proceeded to make hand gestures throughout the argument, probably because she felt like like she wasn't being heard. At one point, she can actually be seen breaking down in tears inside the vehicle. But this instance wasn't a one-off, and recently it seems like Ben has a lot of explaining to do. The 49-year-old was caught earlier this year puffing on his cigarette fiercely while appearing to be in another fight with Jennifer on the streets of Los Angeles. The exes appeared to be locked in a heated conversation outside her car just hours after it was revealed that Ben and his now fiancée Jennifer Lopez bought a $50 million home together. The pair rekindled their relationship in April last year, almost immediately after she ended her engagement with Alex Rodriguez. So the timing is definitely interesting. Number 5. Jessie Nelson and Jake Roche. When the former couple arrived together at the album release party for Little Mix's Get Weird in 2015, they were supposed to be in high spirits for the event. But the evening soon took a turn for the worst, as somehow it ended up with Jessie crying. It was reported that Jessie allegedly had a massive fight with her then fiancé before she decided she had had enough and stormed out. A source told the Daily Mirror newspaper that the girls had been having a great night, drinking and even dancing on the tables the whole night until the early hours. But somewhere around the AM, Jessie and Jake had a tiff, and Jake stomped off to a nearby hotel, and Jessie was clearly sobbing and she took a cab home. The singer was spotted leaving the venue in London and hopping into a cab in the early hours of the morning with makeup smudged around her face and eyes bloodshot after the fight. The couple announced their split the following year, so it looked like in this case the fight may have been indicative of a larger issue in their relationship. According to reports, the reason they split was because Jessie wanted to start a family, but Jake, who was only 24, felt that he was too young to be a father and that they had the rest of their lives to have children. Number 4. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber. Their infamous on and off again relationship was definitely not free from arguments, and some of them were caught on camera. Right before Selena and Justin got on a plane to Paris, they got into a huge fight while at Princess Juliana International Airport in St. Martin, and unfortunately it looked like a massive one. In the video, we see Justin and Selena sitting in their car outside the airport in St. Martin before their Paris flight. Selena storms out of the car, walks into the airport by herself and throws her bag on the floor. Justin didn't immediately follow her, instead he chose to sit in the car for a little bit, which probably made her even more mad. When he did enter a few minutes later, she was chatting with a fan that had a baby, and Justin came over and they silently walked to their flight. You could tell both of them were equally frustrated, but in 2014, this was only one of the many public fights that the couple would go on to have. In fact, after their romantic trip, they went to Paris Fashion Week, which led to more arguing because Justin reportedly went to dinner with Kendall Jenner and partied with her at the same party that Selena was at. She flew out the next morning alone, leaving Justin in Paris, and then deleted him off Instagram. Number 3. Johnny McGade and Courtney Cox. These two are also known for their on-again, off-again relationship, and after getting back together once again after a brief split, the actress and her musician boyfriend were seen arguing outside a West London restaurant and appeared to be exchanging heated words as they dined outside during Courtney's visit to the British capital. In one shot, the former Friends actress can be seen waving her arms and phone in front of Johnny's face, while in another she looks frustrated as she held her head in her hands. Not long after, she gave her then fiancé the silent treatment before getting to her feet to leave the restaurant. For some background, the pair have been engaged, unengaged, and living separately for the majority of their relationship, even though they've been together for 7 years. And so this argument really fueled rumors of more relationship problems. The argument was reportedly about the couple planning their nuptials when they started fighting about the finer details, and insiders told reporters that the couple couldn't agree where they would live, as Johnny supposedly wanted to move back to the UK and Courtney wanted to remain in LA. Number 2. Christopher Hivju and Guy Mulvere. If you forget about Season 8, Game of Thrones was really an epic TV series that took over the world as soon as Season 1 hit and made several of its stars household names. Norwegian actor Christopher was one of the stars who appeared in the series over the years, but it was his public fight with his wife, Gry, who is a photographer, that really got people talking. They say that redheads are known for their temper, so it seems like these two are really perfect for each other. The couple were spotted having a heated argument as they were shopping in Los Angeles, as Gry had reportedly been looking for a new dress. No one really knows what the fight fight was about, but onlookers claimed that their argument lasted for over an hour and escalated very quickly. During the fight, you can see the actor raises his hands in the air in frustration, while his wife, who looks incredibly distraught, has her eyes to the ground the whole time. The fight continued before they both stormed off. Just goes to show you how celebrities are normal people too. Number 1. Shia LaBeouf and Carolyn Foe. Yes, he's back on the list because the actor has a seriously extensive track record of public spats. Shia LaBeouf is fairly well known for his outlandish behavior, where he frequently just takes it way too far by getting kicked out of a performance of Cabaret or being arrested for public drunkenness in 2017. But this fight dates back to 2012 when he and his then girlfriend Carolyn were caught fighting on camera and having a tearful exchange on the side of the road in LA. It was then that rumors started circulating about the extent of Shia's involvement in the sex scenes in Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac, which were reportedly real. So naturally his girlfriend would be upset. She did not seem too thrilled that her actor boyfriend Shia had shared an intimate scene with his co-star in the movie. But Carolyn was pretty quick to deny the fight, telling the New York Daily News, quote, "It's none of anybody's business. Everything is fine with us. It was nothing affiliated with this movie." Although that might be true, clearly something had caused the couple to have a public screaming match on the side of the road in broad daylight. And just like that, in November the same year, the couple had officially decided to split for good.
In at number 10, 50 Cent versus Wendy Williams. The main reason why this is so shocking is because when could you ever imagine a talk show host getting into a beef with a rapper? It just doesn't seem like their paths should be crossing. Allegedly, the feuding started after 50 threw a tycoon pool party but kicked Wendy Williams out when she arrived. Apparently, she still found a way to get back inside, and later on during an interview with Hollywood Unlocked, Williams said that her only reason for being there was so that her son could meet Snoop Dogg on his 19th birthday. Kinda sweet, but if you're not invited, why would you go? Although 50 Cent did not care what her reasoning was. He posted a video of Wendy being spoken to by his security team and then said, "You can't just show up to my party." It would then become a war of words and memes back and forth, with many saying that 50 Cent maybe took it to a place of bullying. However, the two have since made amends, with Wendy Williams using the old adage, "You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar." And I guess that worked on him. In at number 9, Kylie Jenner versus Jordan Woods. This is your classic homewrecker case that not only ruined a family but destroyed the friendships between Kylie and Jordan as well. Fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians were shocked upon finding out that Khloe's baby daddy Tristan Thompson had cheated on her with Jenner's best friggin' friend. The feud went back and forth on social media for all of us to see as well. Woods ended up admitting her mistake and how she handled the whole situation when she appeared on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith. However, the Kardashians weren't letting it go that easily. As the summer episodes of the show started to air, each one repeatedly relitigated the situation in an attempt to turn their fans against Jordan Woods. To add insult to injury, Khloe tweeted this out: "Why are you lying, Jordan Woods? If you're going to try and save yourself by going public, instead of calling me privately to apologize first, at least be honest about your story. By the way, you are the reason my family broke up." I mean, she's kinda right. She's kinda right. In at number 8, Katy Perry versus Taylor Swift. This was one of the most talked about celebrity feuds at the time, with both fan bases glued to every lyric, every song, anything that came out between these two, just to kind of understand the beef that was happening. It all began when the two started fighting over a backup dancer, believe it or not, and the feud only got worse when Taylor Swift released the song Bad Blood, which included details about her fight with Perry. That's when the diss tracks really started to pop off between these two pop icons. Yeah, the real pop wars isn't Coke or Pepsi, it was Perry and Swiftie. In response to this, Perry told Entertainment Weekly, "There is no one thing that's calling out any one person," adding, "Everything has a reaction or consequences, so don't forget about that. Okay, honey?" Okay, but them's fighting words. Eventually, Katy did apologize, and after sending Taylor a literal gift basket, like she extended an actual olive branch, they ended up making amends and even recording a song together called "You Need to Calm Down," which defines this entire feud.
At number 7, we have Iggy and Nick Young. After Iggy split from NBA player Nick Young, the star would come out to say that she broke up with Nick when she found out he had brought another woman into their home while she was away. Let's just say Nick thought Iggy wouldn't be watching the security footage, but she did, and he was caught. It was later revealed that Nick also cheated on Iggy with the mother of his child, and that mother would soon be expecting her second child with Nick's kid. He definitely did her dirty. dirty on that one. Iggy then took to Twitter to say, "It's never easy to part ways with the person you planned your entire future with." Later, a video would be leaked by Nick's teammate that would highlight Nick bragging about cheating on Iggy with other women. At number 6, we have J-Lo and A-Rod. Now, remember that time when J-Lo was going to settle down with A-Rod, and then it never happened? Shortly after J-Lo ended her engagement to A-Rod, Jennifer found herself back in the arms of Ben Affleck. Now, this would come 17 years after Ben and her called off their initial engagement, so he could get with Jennifer Garner. Ben and Jennifer would pack on the PDA all around the world, and they were planning it for the long haul this time. Jennifer would then later say A-Rod can't take a hit. An insider would then say she gets how Alex feels after they spent 5 years together, and that they had plans to marry, and everyone was rooting for them, but at the end, it was done. All J-Lo wanted for him was to move on, and she wished him the best. Number 4, we have Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde. So Jason and Olivia's breakup has been on every tabloid headline for the last couple of weeks. On November 13th, 2020, news would break that Olivia and Jason had decided to part ways. However, an inside source would then reveal the couple had actually split beforehand. Now, Jason has come out to say Olivia left him for her new boyfriend, Harry Styles. However, Olivia has stated that the two split long before she got with her new boyfriend, and it's simply because they fell in love and she didn't see a path moving forward with Jason any longer. Now, with the nanny coming out with some allegations and Olivia getting served while on set, this breakup has seemed to gotten really messy, and it will probably continue as the couple dispute over the custody of their 2 children.
In at number 3, Solange and Jay-Z. This 2014 elevator incident is one of the most legendary of all time because it shows never to mess with the Knowles family. After the Met Gala in 2014, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Solange stepped into an elevator, and when Solange thought nobody else was watching, she started to attack Jay-Z, hitting him with her hands and purse multiple times, while Beyonce just stood there and watched, making it clear that whatever she was doing was supported by his wife, Beyonce. After Beyonce admitted that Jay cheated on her album Lemonade, it's clear that this is when Solange found out about the cheating, and that's how she decided to take out her anger. Jay-Z opened up about the incident in 2017, saying he and Solange are totally fine now and he views her as his sister. So thankfully this incident did not cause long-term damage. In at number 2, Drake and Pusha T. This feud is so messy it started all the way back in 2011, and some could say it's still not over. It all started when Drake released the song Dreams Money Can Buy in 2011 with verses that many thought contained disses aimed at Pusha T. This started a flood of diss tracks between the two, with both rappers taking clear shots at the other. The two kept trading diss tracks for a few years until 2018 when Pusha T released the single Infrared, which allegedly accused Drake of not writing his own raps. Even though many on Drake's team have denied this, the rumor stuck, and many people to this day still claim that Drake has ghostwriters. But it did not stop. The biggest hit to Drake's rep came from the next diss track, The Story of Adidon, which not only accused Drake of having a secret child, but the cover art also showed young Drake in. As of now, the feud has settled and the pair no longer make diss tracks about one another, but I'm sure there's still a lot of tension. And finally, at number 1, Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. As a huge fan of Sex and the City, this feud hurts my heart, and I really wish they could have made up so Samantha would have been in the reboot. Probably would have made it a lot better. Rumors of tension between the women didn't start until the show ended, and Parker shaded Cattrall by saying she was the reason the 3rd Sex and the City movie was not made. Later on, rumors swirled that the movie was scrapped just days before filming due to Kim Cattrall's refusal to sign on unless Warner Brothers produced other projects that she had in development. Later on in an interview, Kim said that SJP, quote, really could have been nicer about everything, hinting at tension between them. But things were turned up a notch when Cattrall's brother passed away in 2018, and Parker shared her condolences on Instagram. Kim Cattrall did not like this seemingly fake response and clapped back, quote, "You are not my family, you are not my friend. So I'm ready to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona." As of now, the feud is clearly not resolved, and the tension is why Samantha is not in the HBO Max reboot, and just like that. Let me know below if you saw the reboot. Personally, I hated and loved it at the same time. It was so bad, but I couldn't stop watching it.
Number 10, Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. For over 4 years, these men have clashed over just about everything, and they haven't exactly tried to keep their rivalry a secret. It started in 2016 when a SpaceX rocket explosion destroyed a $200 million Facebook satellite. Zuckerberg issued a statement saying he was deeply disappointed about the launch launch and called SpaceX a failure. 2 years later, Musk reignited the feud and tweeted, "Yeah, my fault for being an idiot. We did give them a free launch to make up for it, and I think they had some insurance." But when Facebook became embroiled in the Cambridge Analytica scandal, things got a whole lot worse. Musk publicly deleted all of his company's Facebook pages and said, "It's not a political statement, and I didn't do this because someone dared me to do it. I just don't like Facebook. Gives me the willies. Sorry." He also criticized Facebook's data sharing practices and shared several memes that implied the company was spying on its users. Oh, and they also got into a fight about the future of AI. So clearly they have never seen eye to eye.
At number 9, we have MGK and Eminem. No one can forget these two's epic diss tracks posted by the rapper MGK and Eminem. The feuds date all the way back to 2012 when MGK tweeted about Eminem's daughter Haley. And it wasn't exactly what a father of a teenage girl would want to read on the internet. Now after the two's followed over a song MGK was featured on for Tech Nine's 2018 No Reason, in the lyrics he threw some shade at Eminem by referring to his track Rap God. MGK would say, "To remind you all, you just rap and you're not a rap god." Eminem would later clap back with his own diss track called Not Alike, where he made fun of MGK featured on Tech Nine's song. In an interview later, Eminem would confirm that the two's conflict had way more to do with Haley, and it was more because the rapper said he was the greatest rapper alive since his favorite rapper banned him from Shade 45. When MGK released his diss track Rap Devil, Eminem came to destroy Kelly's rap career with his own diss track.
Number 8. Adam Levine and Lady Gaga. The Maroon 5 frontman has had several feuds with female artists over the years, but his feud with Lady Gaga really takes the cake. He first criticized her music in 2011 when he tweeted, "Lady Gaga took Vogue and Express Yourself and put them in a blender. The result? Born This Way." Then, only 2 years later, he slammed her creative choices when she dropped her Applause video from Art Pop, which referenced several major works of art throughout history. Adam wrote, "Ugh, recycling old art for a younger generation doesn't make you an artist. It makes you an art teacher. I unabashedly love writing and performing pop music for both myself and everyone around me. That's it. It doesn't need any extra sauce." To which Lady Gaga responded by tweeting, "Uh-oh guys, the art police is here." Adam then wrote, "By the way, I'm not an artist. I sing in a band and I make music with my friends." He also went on to criticize her grammar on Twitter.
Loving this video far? Please hit that like button. It would really help us out. At number 7, we have Vin Diesel and The Rock. You know the saying, don't turn your back on family? Well, the stars Vin Diesel and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, that statement doesn't exist. The two actors made their first on-screen appearance with each other in 2011 while filming The Fast Five. The Rock joined the set as Luke Hobbs, an agent pursuing the Fast and Furious crew for their various crimes against every law enforcement agency across the world. Everything seemed fine when he returned for the 6th and 7th entry of the series. However, in 2016, Dwayne went to his Instagram to refer to unnamed members of the cast as cowardly, timid people. Rumors then started to circulate that he was insulting Vin Diesel. A few days after filming for The Fate of the Furious and it wrapped up, Johnson posted another Instagram thanking some of his castmates by name, but didn't mention Vin Diesel. While The Rock never identified his target, Vin Diesel would later come to confirm it was in fact him in an Instagram video. Later, the duo's co-star, Michelle Rodriguez, would come to confirm that there was tension between the men on set, but it was nothing more than any kind of disagreement any close friend could have.
Number 6. Olivia Wilde and Shia LaBeouf. Shia was initially cast as a lead in Olivia's movie Don't Worry Darling, which she was directing. But soon after production started, news broke out that she had fired him and replaced him with Harry Styles. Olivia then said that she fired him due to a no a-hole policy that she has while directing. She told Variety that his process was not conducive to the ethos that she demands in her productions. He has a process that, in some ways, seems to require a combative energy. She said that she needed to protect the cast from Shia, but Shia was not happy with this side of the story and decided to publicly expose her for lying. He told Variety that he quit her film because he couldn't find time to rehearse with the cast, and in the most explosive revenge move ever, he then leaked a video of Olivia practically begging him to stay in the film, and made it clear that he was never fired in the first place. The video went viral and the result was utter chaos.
Number 5. Drake and Kanye US. When the friendship and working relationship between Kanye and Drake abruptly dissolved following a project the two were working on, it became nearly impossible for fans to keep up on their latest feuds. Back in 2018, things took a sharp turn for the duo as the two began to proceed to hurl insults back and forth in a form of diss tracks. On one of these tracks, it even revealed Drake had a son. Drake felt like he was portrayed by Kanye when he went behind his back regarding his child, because Drake confided in Kanye just before that he was having trouble with his son's mother. The fire reignited between the stars after Drake started following Kim on social media after the reality star split from Kanye. Kanye wrote to his Instagram about the matter to say, "Imagine having a problem with somebody and they follow your wife on Instagram." However, Drake seemingly went after Kanye on his album Certified Lover Boy in September of 2021. The two have since seemed to have put their past behind them.
Number 4, Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. The actors are both well known as comedic heavyweights who helped launch SNL into mainstream success. But in 1978, when Chase returned as a guest host, the two of them got into a physical altercation and began insulting one another. Murray first confronted Chase, telling him that everyone hated him. They then got into a screaming match which started a physical fight between the two men. SNL star Jane Curtin witnessed the fist fight and said, "It was sad and painful and awful. It was that same kind of tension you would get in a family. It was uncomfortable. I think they both knew the one thing that they could say to one another that would really hurt the most." In a 2012 interview, Murray said that he and Chase were friends again. He told Empire, "It was really a Hollywood fight, a don't touch my face kind of fight. It was an opedial thing, a rupture, because we all felt mad that he had left us, and somehow I was the anointed avenging angel who had to speak for everyone. But Chevy and I are friends now, it's all fine."
Number 3, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. So the tension between the rappers Cardi B and Nicki Minaj has been ongoing since 2017, with multiple disses, tweets, and general misunderstandings and miscommunications, aided by media narratives pitting the two women against each other. The feud eventually escalated into a physical altercation in 2018 at Harper Bazaar, New York Fashion Week event. Photos and videos of the incident show Cardi B being escorted out of the party barefoot with a sizable bump on her forehead, most likely caused by Nicki Minaj's security team who intervened when Cardi B threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj. The apparent incident that the two collided over was because Nicki decided to insult Cardi's parenting skills. After the clash, Cardi took to Instagram and said she let a lot slide, and because of the result of her interaction with Nicki, she had been questioning her capabilities as a mother. Nicki later came forward on her own radio show and threw shade at Cardi by saying, "Someone get this woman some help." Cardi then went to her Instagram to debunk Nicki's story.
Number 2, Jennifer Lopez and Mariah Carey. These two have been at each other's throats since the early 2000s. In fact, most people remember the iconic line that Mariah told a reporter when she said, "I don't know her." Although it sounds hilarious, Mariah has maintained her negative opinion of J-Lo all these years. For instance, she was once asked what she thought about Beyonce and J-Lo, and she responded by saying that they don't even belong in the same category. She said, "Well, it's hard. You can't really put those two people in the same category because one is in a really different generation. They just started singing later. But when you talk about Beyonce, I think she's wonderful. She's great. She's a talented person." But it seemed like she forgot to compliment J-Lo as well. A few years later, Mariah spoke to Andy Cohen and doubled down on her comments, saying, "I don't know her. What am I supposed to say?" So it looks like it'll take a miracle for these two iconic performers to ever be on good terms.
Number 1, we have Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan. Now, the pair have been frenemies for quite some time now. With the two of them often being pitted against each other in the tabloids, their feuds can get pretty messy when on full display for the world to see. The two were known to be best friends until 2006 when Lindsay was captured in a series of photos with Paris's ex-boyfriend. Paris was then captured in a video with her friend Brandon Davis, and you could hear the two making fun of Lindsay's career and body. Lindsay would then speak to Elle and say she would never fight with a woman over a guy because it's bad karma. By November of that year, the two seemed to have put their differences aside as they were captured in a picture on a girls' night out with Britney Spears. However, in 2018, Paris would shade Lindsay by saying the photo the paparazzi captured of the three girls in 2006 was just supposed to be a girls' night with her and Britney, and Lindsay chased after them to get in the car. Even today, the stars continue to bring up old beef with each other, and it's gotten to the point where enough is enough and the two just need to put their past in the past. At number 10, we have Samantha Cohen. The private secretary to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry said the couple was so difficult and disorderly that it was like working for a couple of teenagers. In a book called The Hidden Power Behind the Crown, highlights how the Duchess of Sussex was once extremely rude while criticizing a plan drawn up by the young female employee in front of other colleagues. William later tried to console the staff and said she was doing a good job. The book also mentioned how the couple bullied Samantha Cohen, who was formerly the Queen's private secretary. However, Samantha joined Harry and Meghan as their interim private secretary after the two got married. The book quoted a source that said nothing Samantha ever did for the couple was good enough. They were impossible and pushed her to her limits. She was miserable. However, the Duchess's lawyers denied in 2021 that Miss Cohen had been bullied, and the couple was always grateful for her support. Number 9, we have Melissa, who was actually Meghan's private secretary. In December of 2018, Meghan lost one of her key staff members. This ignited speculation that the actress was allegedly difficult to work for. Melissa, 39, was Markle's personal assistant for just 6 months. The two clashed over free gifts including clothes, jewelry, and candles that some companies had sent the Duchess. Melissa followed the rules that royal members cannot accept gifts from commercial organizations, but it claims her approach of handling this rule did not go down with Meghan well. In June of that year, it is said that Buckingham Palace effectively was able to bury a report that outlined allegations of bullying done by the Duchess of Sussex. And the royal aides announced in March that year prior that they were launching an inquiry into Meghan's behavior with staff. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 8, we have Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams once addressed to the press saying, "Nobody feels sorry for Meghan Markle." The statement comes after Wendy Williams said that Meghan's friends tried to warn her not to marry Prince Harry. She went on to say, "You know what I'm saying? Like, you meet a prince and your friend's going to tell you not to marry him." Or, Meghan's lying to get sympathy. The host then went on to say in a clip from a documentary, Harry and Meghan, an African journey, that showed Meghan claiming that she didn't get it when her friends warned her about the British media fixation. Williams went on to say, "Yes, you did. You knew exactly what you were doing, and please don't try to garner any sympathy from us. You knew what you were doing." The Ask Wendy author assured her audience that she really does like Meghan and Harry, but there's something about the Duchess of Sussex, and she shouldn't be surprised that the paparazzi are everywhere now that she's a royal. They were not following you when you were on Suits. We didn't even know who you are, except when you came for an employment here at Wendy and wanted to be one of our runway models. She then ended the show by saying, "You knew exactly what you were signing up for, girl."
And at number 7, Ariana Grande and Victoria Justice. These ladies have allegedly been feuding since they were teens, filming Nickelodeon's Victorious. The most notable moment that alluded to a feud happened during an interview with the 4 female leads of Victorious, which featured Grande, Justice, Liz Gillies, and Daniela Monet. During the Popstar magazine interview video, the cast members played a game, but they said things about one another that fans might not know. During this interview, Gillies gushed about Grande's singing voice, telling the publication, quote, "She sings everything, and it's a good thing because she has a beautiful voice, but it's awesome. She sings absolutely everything, she never stops." When other members of the cast agreed, Justice looked annoyed and interrupted the conversation by saying, quote, "I think we all sing a lot," while appearing to roll her eyes, which is obviously downplaying the compliment that was supposed to be for Ariana. Years later, Ariana threw some more shade by claiming Victorious ended because one girl did not want to do it anymore. She instead wanted a solo tour, and since Justice went on a solo tour after the show ended, it was clearly about her. However, both women claim there is no beef, although many don't believe it. And at number 6, Abhishek Sheikh Chatterjee and Nick Lachey. This is a strange one, but the Love is Blind cast member Sheikh got in a feud with the host of the show, Nick Lachey. Sheikh got in trouble for focusing too much on the appearance of his partner and claiming that he was not attracted to her. Things got heated at the reunion when Sheikh said attraction was about, quote, nature, and saying that they're animals. Lachey fired back at the veterinarian saying, quote, "No, you treat animals. We're human beings. There's a big difference." Sheikh then slammed Nick in a post on Instagram, writing, quote, "You put a doctor on the show, of course you're going to see some critical thinking. Speaking of which, Nick Lachey, you're a massive for your comment dragging vets. You do realize that becoming a veterinarian is considerably more difficult than becoming a human doctor, right? He also slammed the host for not being impartial like a host should be.
In at number 4, Prince vs Sinead O'Connor. When Irish singer Sinead O'Connor released her song Nothing Compares to You, it won a ton of awards and instantly became an international hit. The reason this feud with Prince started though was because Prince was the one who had actually written the song. Sinead had technically covered the song but never asked for permission. Apparently Prince had released that song on a side project for the sole purpose of it one day being used to boost a protege's career. However, that idea was crushed when Sinead O'Connor just swooped in and took it. Prince actually reached out to her so that they could discuss the matter, but according to the people that were there that day, it did not go over well. Prince, I guess, started throwing punches at Sinead O'Connor, and then she spat on him a bunch of times, and they just never were able to agree that she stole the song.
Number 3, Geena Davis. On the 1990 film set of Quick Change, Geena Davis explained how she was harassed and that she should have walked out. In her memoir titled Dying of Politeness, the Oscar-winning actress highlighted the actor once screamed at her on set for being late and continued to yell as he followed her to her trailer on the set. The altercation happened in front of a large crowd, cast, crew, and onlookers, but the star noted she should have walked away from their first meeting or profanely defended herself so she wouldn't have gotten the part. Davis and Murray first met in a hotel suite where he continued to try to use a massage device on her throughout her audition after her initial refusal. Davis explained she could have avoided the inappropriate treatment if she knew how to react or what to do during the audition, but she also didn't want to appear hard to work with, so she stayed quiet. She then went on to say that there's no point in regretting things, yet she's still here regretting it. This isn't the first time Murray has been linked to inappropriate behavior, as recently on the Searchlight Pictures suspended the production of Being Mortal after allegations surfaced of Murray engaging in an inappropriate way towards other cast members. Murray tried to defend his actions by saying, "I did something funny and it wasn't taken that way." Number 2, Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe hasn't been scared to portray his thoughts on the royal family over the years. He's definitely not a fan. Daniel's comments, especially when it comes to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, have definitely managed to raise some eyebrows, especially when it came to his sarcastic comments he made about the British monarchy back in 2009. During his interview with Daily Beast, Daniel made it clear he wasn't a fan of the royal family by saying he's not a royalist, not at all, and he doesn't see the use of monarchy, though he is a fierce patriot. Radcliffe then went on to note that he's very proud to be English and he thinks the family symbolizes what is wrong with the country. He did go on to say that he doesn't think the family's done anything wrong, but he simply doesn't like what they represent. He noted that the royal family shows a huge symbol when it comes to class division, and it's something he particularly didn't like. While Daniel did admit he totally sympathizes with Meghan because of her harsh treatment she's gotten from the press, you probably won't see these two working together considering Daniel's opinions with the royal family and what they stand for. Number 1, Kate Middleton. With everything going on in the royal family's lives, one aspect of the personal lives that has been an ongoing scandal for the last year, it's no secret people love to read about the alleged rift between Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton. The media continues to keep us up to date with the latest rifts between the two. While the media does tend to blow things out of proportions, the two have had their fair share of minor disagreements, and one actually made Kate cry. Meghan and Harry's wedding back in May of 2018 was definitely a wedding that wasn't without drama. As it was reported, Meghan and Kate had a disagreement about the Flower Girl's outfit. The feud over the dress was so tense, it had Kate in tears over the stressful fitting for her daughter. A source reveals that it was an extremely hot day and there'd been a row over whether the bridesmaid should wear tights. Kate, following the royal family protocol, felt like they should wear tights while Meghan didn't want them to. At the time, Kate was feeling emotional considering she did just give birth. However, before this incident, the two are to be said to have many rifts, and because of these rifts, you definitely won't catch these two in the same room alone. Number 10, culturally insensitive. In 2016, Hawaiians were demanding an apology from of Jennifer Lawrence after she joked about scratching her butt on rocks that are considered sacred to the natives on the island. When the actress appeared on Graham Norton's show with Chris Pratt on December 2nd of 2016, she explained that she actually almost injured a crew member while the incident was occurring. She went on to say that these rocks are sacred. I don't know if they were ancestors, who knows, but they were sacred. Jennifer was only able to sit on the rocks because she was wearing a wetsuit. She then went on to joke about the rocks were good for butt itching, and that one rock she was scratching against ended up coming loose and almost seriously injuring the sound guy on set. What made matters worse is Jennifer laughed about the fact Hawaiians were horrified about the incident and that they were going on about a curse when it was actually just her who knocked over the rock. In Hawaii, removing any black sand or lava rocks is thought to be a bad luck caused by the Peel's curse. That's why the removal of rocks for souvenirs is considered taboo to their culture. Jennifer later apologized for the incident by saying she meant absolutely no disrespect about the fact and that she understands the way it was perceived was not funny and apologizes if she offended anyone. If we can learn anything about Jennifer's incident, it's just to leave sacred items alone. Number 9. Transphobic. In November 2012, Jennifer appeared on Ellen to promote the Silver Linings Playbook film and made some pretty serious comments that many said came across transphobic. Jennifer told Ellen that she had this cat and that she never met a cat where you assume at first it's a boy because cats are girls and dogs are boys. The star went on to note that her cat had this huge masculine energy, and for the first week of having her, everyone referred to her cat as he. Ultimately, the star decided to call her cat Oliver and brought her cat a collar with the name Oliver written on it. She then thought the name was not right and changed her cat's name to Chaz Bono. This started a huge outrage with fans because if you don't know who Chaz Bono is, he's a transgender male. Fans also pointed out that the whole comment was outrageous and transphobic. What may have been a joke to Lawrence was definitely not funny and extremely offensive to the LGBT community. Throughout the show, you could tell Ellen was really uncomfortable with the subject, and after Jennifer was done speaking, Ellen tried to gently educate the artist by saying, well, you know, multicolored cats are females, before quickly changing the subject. Number 7, we have Harold Ramis. Bill Murray had a long decade estrangement from his longtime friend and collaborator Harold. Sadly, the two's friendship collapsed while on set of the film 1993 Groundhog's Day. During a heated creative dispute, Harold said he grabbed Murray's shirt collar and the two got into a heated altercation. In a book later released by Harold's daughter Violet titled Ghostbusters' Daughter, Life of My Dad, Violet would go on to note that the incident happened and Murray wouldn't speak to Harold for over 20 years, and even though Harold tried not to take it personally, he was ultimately left feeling heartbroken and confused about the unsurprised rejection. Murray was unheard from up until Harold was in the hospital, and Murray showed up to visit his old pal unannounced at 7 a.m. in February of 2014 with a box of donuts and a police escort. With Harold losing his ability to speak, he was no longer able to speak to Murray before his passing. However, Murray didn't mind and hung out with Harold for a couple of hours anyways. I'm glad Bill was able to put the two's differences aside and came together for his friend before his passing. Number 6, Erin Foster. Making a living making fun of celebrities on her Instagram page, Erin Foster is no stranger when it comes to sharing her opinions about Meghan Markle. In November 2017, Erin posted an old photo of Meghan back in her days on the television show Deal or No Deal. Erin posted the photo with a caption that said "Never forget," but the post did not end there. Erin posted another picture of the Duchess wearing a little dress holding a briefcase, and she captioned the photo, "This briefcase is filled with my plans to be famous." It's no secret that Erin loves to hate on women, so she continued to spend her day arguing with people in the comments who were calling her mean and tone deaf about the post. Many were quick to point out the post seemed personal and that the two must have known each other personally. Number 5, David O. Russell. It's no secret Jennifer loves working with David O. Russell because he's given the star some iconic roles where she's been able to break the age barrier and try something new. Lawrence loves David so much, she actually tears up whenever she talks about him. Many have pointed out that's probably because she has a better relationship with him than most actors do. However, David has a long track record of being aggressive with his castmates and crew. The New York Daily News report leaked Sony's executive emails, which showed an altercation between David O. Russell and co-star Amy Adams. The messages were so concerning that co-star Christian Bale had to step in and intervene. However, this isn't the only time Russell has overstepped his boundaries with another actor, as George Clooney once claimed he got into an altercation with the filmmaker after he was aggressive with his castmates and crew on the 2009 set Three Kings. A video has also since surfaced of an altercation where you can see Russell screaming at actress Lily Tomlin while filming the 2004 Hart Huckabee's film. Russell's bad behavior and Jennifer's support for the filmmaker is definitely concerning. However, he isn't the only controversial director Lawrence has deep affection for, as back in 2014, she told Vanity Fair that she worshipped Woody Allen. Number 4. Trevor Eagleston. Ex-husband of Meghan Markle, Trevor Eagleston, has pretty much remained silent about his marriage to the retired actress. However, in a royal biography, Andrew Morton hasn't. In a book Andrew wrote titled Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, he highlights that Trevor was full of hatred when it came to the Duchess, and in one chapter he wrote Trevor went on from cherishing Meghan, and it would observe his feeling was like he was a piece of something stuck to the bottom of her shoe. The author then went to write, while Meghan was filming Suits in Canada, she ended her relationship with Trevor by mailing back his wedding ring to him. Shortly after, Meghan claimed that she was married to the Hollywood producer. She felt like she didn't always act as if he supported her acting career. A close friend of the two then said Trevor didn't like the dynamic change and he wanted to be the breadwinner and didn't want to share the spotlight. However, Trevor's uncle would then later come out to defend the allegations and would say that's not who his nephew really is. But it's definitely to say we won't be seeing these two work together on sets anytime soon. Number 3, we have Amy Schumer. Amy Schumer once said that Meghan Markle was her nemesis and even explained why in a super hilarious way. Even though the stars aren't actually feuding, it's still worth mentioning the gag of jokes Amy made throughout her pregnancy. Amy first teased her pregnancy with a picture of her head photoshopped over a picture of Meghan Markle's body. The comedian said it's not fun to be pregnant at the same time as the Duchess of Sussex. With the two having very close due dates, they were expected to be delivering their babies by spring in 2019. So Amy confirmed that she would be competing with the royal mom-to-be. Amy definitely wasn't kidding when she brought up Meghan again during a comedy show in November. Amy went on to say, "You know what's not fun? Being pregnant at the same time as Meghan Markle. She's walking around in heels and cradling a baby that's not there." Amy then went on to say because the star was pregnant at the time, she was making Meghan her nemesis because she wasn't going to let her get away with that. While Meghan was out wearing heels, Amy was barely able to put on her flat. It's still worth mentioning that even though Amy is feuding with Markle in a hilarious way, watching her poke a little fun at this running gag was definitely a welcoming distraction to the star to feel better about her own pregnancy blues. Number 2. Her falls are fake. In 2013, when the star tripped on her way up the stairs to accept her Oscar, the fall to many of us was endearing and adorable. However, it just kept happening. In 2015 at the Oscars, she fell on the red carpet, making even Jared Leto question if the incidents were all just an act. And then came the evidence to prove his theory correct. For Lawrence's part, she may be thinking she's doing the right thing when asked about her deliberate falls and clumsiness. Jennifer told Marie Claire that she just was trying to do the right thing. Waving to her fans, the star went on to say all of a sudden there was a traffic cone. The second I hit it, I was laughing, but on the inside, I was like, oops. They're totally going to think it was an act. She then noted that even if she was Jared Leto, she would completely agree with the fact that she was faking the falls. It's definitely something we should keep an eye on, because even though the star went on to say she would have never done it at the Oscar twice in a row, I think that's exactly what she would have done. Number 1. Political views. For years it took Jennifer to feel comfortable about sharing her thoughts on political matters. However, over time she's gotten used to speaking her mind about everything from pay equity and who should be the president of the United States. However, her comments to Trump prove that it's best to keep quiet when it comes to political opinions. With Trump winning the 2016 election, Lawrence was left heartbroken and didn't hold anything back, and her whole ordeal to follow had her saying some pretty serious comments. In 2016, she even told Graham Norton one time she was at the same concert with Trump and she even wanted to go up to him and give him a piece of her mind. And then in 2017, she told Oprah that she already had planned out what she would say to former President of the United States if she had the chance to meet him. And it wasn't nice, and her actions that would have followed wouldn't have been so nice either. Many would go on to accuse Lawrence of taking her criticism too far, but this didn't scare the actress into staying quiet, as post-election later she would tell fans not to be afraid to be loud and heard.
Number 10. Nigella Lawson and Charles Saatchi. The couple's fight was witnessed by a photographer who stumbled upon celebrity chef Nigella Lawson being choked by none other than her husband, Britain's most high-profile figure, Charles Saatchi. The incident all went down during her birthday lunch, and a now infamous photo was captured of the chilling sight. The photographer, who only went by the name Jean-Paul, told Vanity Fair in 2013 that when Charles grabbed his wife's throat, quote, "It was so violent, with such force that her head snapped backward." The story hit the tabloids at full speed and actually served to open up a much needed conversation about domestic violence. Their relationship was obviously far from perfect, but the intense controversy that the incident sparked was enough to tear them apart forever. That same year, Charles filed for divorce from Nigella after 10 years of marriage. Funnily enough, he later told the Daily Mail that putting his hands on her throat was merely a gesture, and insisted that there was no pressure applied to her. Yeah, right. Number 9. Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries. Their 72-day marriage had certainly shown signs that it was going to end quickly. A few days before Kim divorced Kris on day 68, the couple was spotted arguing in their car while out on a dinner date in Hollywood. The newlywed couple were photographed heading back to Kim's car after dinner, and you could visibly see the tension in the air. Kris looked fed up, and Kim was giving her new husband the death stare while yelling and waving her hands at him as the argument began to escalate. This very public fight was indicative that their relationship was on the rocks, because that same year Kim went on to file for divorce and got the marriage annulled. The Los Angeles Times even reported that Kim had only married him to increase ratings on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The best part was that Kris asked for a $7 million divorce settlement from his ex-wife. Otherwise, he threatened to make her endure an ugly public trial. But the NBA star ended up walking away with literally nothing. Number 8. Emma Roberts and Evan Peters. The American Horror Story actors first met on the set of Adult World in 2012, and in the short 4 years since then, the two have shared more drama than some of Hollywood's biggest blockbusters. Toxic doesn't even begin to describe their relationship. We're talking about at least 3 breakups and deleting all social media traces of each other. Early on in their relationship, TMZ reported that the two got into a heated argument while staying at a hotel in Montreal that ended up with both stars getting physical. When police arrived, Peters was found with a bloody nose and bite marks on his body, prompting police to take Emma into custody, arresting her for domestic violence. But her then boyfriend decided not to press charges, and they were back together a few hours later. What's really bizarre is that a couple of days after the fight, photos were shared online of Emma clinging to Evan while sobbing into his arms after news broke of the fight. Paparazzi were even able to capture the two hugging one another, with Emma looking extremely upset the whole time. The incident was a bit of a grey area, but many have labeled it as straight up domestic violence.
Number 7. Katie Hopkins. It's the scandal the whole world would be talking about. And Katie Hopkins wasn't shy when it came to her opinion on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step down as senior members of the royal family. On the night of Kate Middleton's birthday, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex released a statement confirming their intentions to effectively quit royal duties. Adding that they hope to become financially independent, they went on to say, after many months of reflection and internal discussions, we have chosen to make the transition this year and to start carving out progressive new role within this institution. We intend to step back as senior members of the royal family and to work financially independent while continuing to fully support Her Majesty the Queen. Katie Hopkins then came out to say where it all went wrong with Meghan on an episode aired on Channel 9's 60 Minutes. In the show, Katie explains Meghan is one of the most stuck up people in England and that she always wears bad clothes. Katie then added Meghan is one of the biggest hypocrites there is. While a fan on the show went to say that there's nothing wrong with Meghan, Katie responded by saying there's nothing right about her either. Number 6. She talks a lot of smack about a lot of stars. In 2016, Jennifer appeared on Watch What Happened Live with Andy Cohen. During the show, she and her best friend Laura Sampson engaged in a game called Shush You BFF Flush. In this game, Lawrence would be asked a series of questions where she had to dish the tea on the meanest things she has ever said about any celebrity without actually revealing who that celebrity is. The star went on to say a lot of nicknames for certain celebrities. She said, "There's the lady, there's Pickle." And her best friend Laura went on to add that the lady has different variations. Raging Lady, the lady in red, the lady in waiting. The whole ordeal was just outrageous as the two went on to talk because Jennifer and best friend sounded like they have a whole lot of issues with other female stars. Number 5. Angelica Huston. Addams Family star Angelica Huston was essentially hurt by Bill Murray's behavior on set of Wes Anderson's 2004 film. Angelica said Bill was horrible after working with him, and in May of 2017, Huston told Vulture that during her first week of set, Bill invited the entire cast for dinner except for her. She went on to say that everyone went out for dinner a little dog-faced at the fact she wasn't there or had been invited, and throughout the day they were telling her, "Oh, you know, we really don't want to go, but they all went otherwise." The whole situation really hurt Angelica. With the film being shot all over Italy, Angelica noted that she didn't see Bill again until they were on set to shoot in Florence. When she entered the set, Bill greeted her and asked her how she was and even said, "I miss you." In the heat of the moment, Angelica looked at him and said he was full of it and told Bill that he didn't miss her. Murray is said to be confused for a moment but was unfazed by the comment. Angelica showed us that Bill didn't care about his castmates and he wasn't afraid to single them out and make them feel unwanted in many situations. 4. Racially insensitive. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Lawrence revealed that she and her best friend, Amy Schumer, were working on a play together. She went on to say that the film was less than promising. She said that she and Amy played sisters and would go on a road trip to reconnect with their brother. She then said there was a twist and laughed about it being very hilarious and that it was incredibly offensive. The star then went on to say she made a tagline that she wanted to put on the movie's poster, and it said, "Minorities will be offended and so will all white people." There's definitely other ways to be funny than to be racist, and if you think a joke might just hurt someone, probably shouldn't say it. Unfortunately for the situation of Jennifer's shadiness and Amy's shocking and often tasteless jokes, Jennifer definitely wasn't exaggerating with her descriptions.
Number 3. Simon Cowell and Lauren Silverman. This was not just one explosive fight, but actually several. The lid was really blown off the couple's relationship problems when paparazzi captured photos of them in March last year having a tense argument while walking with their son Eric. According to The Sun, passerbys noticed that the X Factor judge had a face like thunder, and their arguing was so loud almost everyone could hear them. In fact, it was reportedly so bad that Lauren got fed up and had to walk away from Simon, while the former American Idol judge decided to cross the road to the other side to put some distance between them, and he walked the rest of the way on the other side of the street. But that wasn't the first time that the pair had a fight in public. In fact, back in 2013, the couple couple were seen shouting at each other inside a car in New York City. They were even photographed in the middle of an altercation while sitting in the back of an SBU in broad daylight with their windows down. Simon had his hands in the air and Lauren looked like she was crying. I guess it goes to show you that celebrities really are just normal people.